Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to another StarCraft 2 replay cast. I'm your host, Overmind, and up here at the top bit of the map in red, we have Cheng. And down here at the bottom side of the map, in blue, Nightshark. Now, I can tell you all, with my very fancy degree in biology, that night sharks are actually way more active than day sharks, so hopefully we're going to see some aggressive plays here out of Nightshark. Perhaps even a feeding frenzy. Oh, and there's my bad joke for the cast. Alright, as we can see, we're going to go ahead and have that supply depot going on down at the front for Nightshark. And over here we have a pylon way in the back for Cheng. Usually you don't put that pylon right up front if you are playing versus Protoss or Terran, so this is fine. Although usually you don't put it so far back either because it doesn't cover quite as much, but that's fine, that's going to be okay. Just going to chrono boost out those probes and head on off to scout. Over here we have that barracks going down, and it looks like it's going to be gas here in just a moment. Yep, there's that SCV popping out. Gas coming up. Gas could mean a couple different things. It could mean a mech build. It could mean that there's going to be Reapers. Could be lots of stuff. Certainly if I scouted that, I would make sure to have a stalker early, because those Reapers, especially when someone goes mass Reapers early, can be kind of a pain to deal with, because they are so fast. They do work very, very well as scouts, and maybe that's the aggressive play that Nightshark, sorry, really like the name, that Nightshark is going to go for. And this probe is heading off in secret. Probably here. This is one of the very common areas on this map to go ahead and pop down a proxy pylon. It allows you to put on some early pressure, and I mean, on the bright side, it also lets you see if this expansion gets taken pretty easily. So maybe we're gonna see a proxy here in a moment. Maybe this probe's just chilling out. He's just hanging out over here, being a probe, being safe from the fight, and from Nightshark himself, because he's a little terrified. Looks like we do have a Reaper coming up for Nightshark, so that's going to be pretty good for scouting. I actually don't... It looks like there's going to be a Zealot, which is going to make it a little bit harder to chase down that Reaper if he gets loose in the base. We do have the Cyber Core coming up, though, and he is mining gas, so hopefully soon enough we will see a Stalker or a Mothership Core coming out to help deal with this Reaper who is heading across the map. Looks like we did get this nice proxy pylon building here. This probe just kind of chilling here. Maybe he's going to scout the base later, maybe it's just kind of forgotten. Wouldn't expect that so much, though, since this is a nice platinum game. Reaper moving into the base, and gonna see all of this. Gonna be chased by the very, very slow Zealot. It looks like we're about to pop up with a Mothership Core, though. That should be more than enough to scare this away. We do have the first Stalker out as well. Warp Gate research is not yet started, which is a little unusual, especially with the proxy pylon there. Will not be able to apply pressure if he doesn't have that warping ability, but I guess he really wanted that early Mothership Core. I'm gonna go ahead and take an expand. Cheng gonna try and macro up a little bit. He certainly got a good amount of minerals and could probably do with several more probes, some more pylons, more buildings. He could build a tech building if he wanted to go tech up, or he could just build a whole bunch of gateways and get ready for some early pressure from that pylon. It's like he has gone ahead and started Warp Gate. He has not set his rally point correctly, though, for this Nexus. He's gonna go ahead and grab that. Bunker going down here for Nightshark to defend against any of this early pressure that might come from that pylon, although I do not believe... Yeah, I don't believe that that's been scouted as yet, which is fine, although he does have this very active Reaper Scout running around in the middle of the map. Stalker trying to chase it down. Stalkers really don't go as fast as these Reapers do. They do have this nice range, though, which is what makes them really good for scaring them out of your base. This Reaper, oh my gosh, he has 2 health. Run, Reaper, run! Oh, he's gonna see the proxy. Oh, he definitely sees the proxy. Alright, so Nightshark knows that that proxy is there. I'm sure he will be dealing with that post-haste. Looks like we did just see the probe transfer go down for Cheng. We have mules dropping for Nightshark. This Reaper is still just... I love the regen rate on these because they stay alive forever. That Reaper is still making himself worthwhile as a scout. Warp gate research not quite done. About to be done soon, though. It looks like he's going to go ahead and try and take care of that pylon. Although, in a moment, Cheng's going to be able to warp some things in. We'll see if he tries to warp in. Oh, looks like a Stalker's going to scare off the Reaper again. Alright. And a small warp in here. So, he might be thinking to poke out, although this number of Marines looks pretty formidable for a handful of Stalkers at this point. If we look at the army supply, you can see that it is actually in favor of Nightshark, so this little bit of harassment might be more valuable as a distraction than as an actual attack. Although, Cheng should be able to make a bunch more units. Well, looks like the Reaper popped in here, but it was not a problem. Finally has died, though. Cheng should be able to make a lot more units now that he has that warp gate research done, although his money is very, very high. He really needs to add on some more production buildings, and it looks like there are some finishing up now. He has a robo facility going, so hopefully he'll be able to spend a bit more of that. Looks like gas is the limiting factor, so he might want to consider going ahead and just making some zealots to sort of chink away at those minerals. Looks like these Stalkers did do a little bit of poking around over here. Although we do have this massive army following them back home, this clearly is something that Cheng sees. And unfortunately, this Stalker is pretty spread out. If they see it, they're going to kill it for certain. And it looks like Nightshark is going to come... No, just gonna let the Stalker hit him. Okay, there we go. Dead Stalker. Dead Stalker is what we see there. This proxy pylon still is sitting here. I don't know that if we have enough warp gates at this point to really pop in a force that will deal with the front of Nightshark's base very well, because he does keep producing units, although much of his army is out here. Cheng's front pylon is sort of not in the front of his base, which is kind of unfortunate, because having a pylon like right here does allow you to warp in a fairly large radius. Looks like he is going to go ahead and get an Immortal up to help deal with some of those really, really obnoxious Marauders. That scout did get scouted and killed, so that is one less observer. And I think Cheng is doing a pretty good job of scouting this. He very much knows where Nightshark's army is going to sit up here. It's possible that this will get sniped with a scan, but even if it does, then that'll be a waste of a scan. Looks like this is going to put pressure on the third here from this proxy. Gonna go ahead and kill off that worker who was building it, delaying it slightly. Nightshark getting dangerously close to being supply blocked at this point. He's gonna go ahead and take out this pylon, which might actually... I don't think that's gonna supply block. Oh, I guess it does. Between the units coming in and that pylon being taken out, Cheng is now supply blocked. Nightshark still staying just a little bit ahead of it, which is good. These two Zealots are going to be moving out, I think, for more scouting. And two Stalkers. I don't know why he has them go out in pairs like this. I guess the buddy system is something that Cheng is a fan of. But it is going to cause him to lose two Stalkers and possibly two Zealots in the coming game. Scan here at the front. At the bright side, I suppose this pylon here is keeping everything away from the front, so he doesn't see as much with his scan, but he's going to see a good number of these units. Colossus backing on up. Photon overcharge, force field's going down. Colossus micro back and forth. Mothership, of course, going to go ahead and back up. Colossus possibly not contributing as much to this fight as it could, but taking very little damage. In fact, just a couple little bits of hull damage and a bunch of shield damage before he actually backs up. Does scare Nightshark off, who elects to not fight in that photon overcharge, just has to wait a minute. Does see that there is no third up here, which actually is really going to hurt Cheng, because he does not have the economy going. It looks like he's been a little lax with his probe production as well, as he only has 13 here and 13 here. he's going to go ahead and get that extended thermal lance, which is probably a good decision, because these nice colossi could probably stand right up here and hit a lot of any incoming army. Looks like the two zealots that were over here probably got killed by that large force. Looks like he's going to go ahead and send out one zealot and one observer here. Another observer here. Oh, looks like there's some loaded up medevacs, and you know what that means, guys. It's drop time. And gosh, don't you hate it when Terran do that? They load up a couple medevacs and then they attack your front while they drop in your base. Ugh. It's annoying. But it looks like that might be exactly what Nightshark is planning to do here. Engagement at the front. I think that this should be able to clean it up pretty well, especially with those Colossi upgraded. But up here in the top, this drop is also going very well for Nightshark. Looks like this Cyber Core might go down. This Warp Gate might go down. Some probes are certainly dying. There's 2 kills on the probes. Cyber Core is about to die. Oh, that's painful. It looks like he switched to this gateway. No. Going to try and kill. Oh, he gets. No more Colossus. No more Stalkers. Only Zealots. Only Zealots at this point. And lots of probe kills on that. It was probably very much worth it, especially since Cheng was a little bit underprobed, although he did move a lot of them down here to this natural. 2 cannons coming up by this third, which really doesn't have anything mining, although it is immediately scanned, or more or less immediately as it's coming up. Some probes being transferred. Is this probe stuck? I don't think it is, but it might be stuck right there, which would be a shame. Small force moving up to harass that a little bit. Force here for Cheng to defend a little bit. And a drop here. Fortunately, it does look like Cheng has a number of stalkers stationed here to protect against any additional drops, which is probably a correct action, realistically. Nightshark is actually maxed out for food. Looks like the army didn't do anything for a while, but there's that overcharge to clean it up. This is kind of a pain up here. It looks like those stalkers weren't quite enough, so there's a few more units warping in to deal with these additional units. And the medevacs went ahead and left them for dead, because really, at this point, losing things is not necessarily a bad thing for Nightshark, depending on what he wants to make. Losing some insignificant Marines and Marauders in order to build something more tech-heavy might be worth it. You see he does have a few Vikings here added on in case there are more Colossi. This army getting more and more frightening. He's gonna head around. Looks like he's gonna go ahead and scan himself, just to make sure that everything's good. There's a stalker there, so he goes ahead and catches that, kills it off. And this might actually be the game right here. There's going to be a big engagement, a couple Archons here, which will help out, some Colossi, hopefully some force fields, although not force fields that hinder your own army. You can do it, Cheng. Alright, and I think this is going to be it. Units falling all over. Colossus going down. The bad manners at the end. Terran is so something stupid easy. I'm pretty sure that's something that everyone of every race says, or at least thinks about someone of another race at some point, and that's really not helpful to your gameplay, because that's simply not true. In fact, many people who attempt the switch actually realize shortly afterwards that races are pretty balanced. There's even people who are paid to make sure that that's so. I've never noticed how kind of cool these dead Colossi look laying here. That's kind of awesome. They have like a skeleton and everything. In any case, guys, I am rambling on a little bit. That was a really fun game to watch. It was cool to see a Terran macro up so well. You'll note that he did go ahead and get out to 4 bases, while his opponent Cheng had difficulty setting up 3, which was probably his downfall. few quick announcements. I am going to go ahead and try and set up a series of replay analysis videos. If you would like to be part of that series, go ahead and send me your replays to noobcrafted@gmail.com, or if you just have a cool replay that you would like me to cast, go ahead and send it to the same place, that is noobcrafted@gmail.com. Anyway, thank you guys, and have a good night.